Well, I've often said that one of the best ways to get through a lot of stuff quickly when you're decluttering is to use the buddy system, where you invite somebody over, they ask you questions about the stuff so that you can basically see that you don't need it anymore and you can get rid of a lot of stuff really quickly. But I know not everybody has someone in their life like this that they can invite over. So today, I want to be that person for you. So here's what you need to do. Find a spot in your house that you need to declutter. I'm going to ask the questions, and in the next 15 minutes, we're going to get a ton done together. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, and over the next 15 minutes, we are gonna get a ton done. I'm gonna ask you questions to decide if you need to keep this stuff or if you can just part with it and be done with it. So we're gonna make some logical decisions, quick decisions, and you are gonna get a ton done. So this is a free printable that I have on my website. I'll link to it down below. But basically it's just some questions that you can ask yourself when you're decluttering, and it can be super helpful if you have somebody else that can help you. So it might be one of your children at home. I mean, my 9-year-old is great with these questions. It might be a sister, a friend, another family member, but it can be really helpful to have somebody helping you with this. So I'm gonna do that for you today. So I'm gonna ask you the questions and you are gonna go through your stuff and we'll do this together. So first things first, do you have your stuff ready to declutter? Do you have a spot in your house? It's usually helpful just to tackle one drawer, one closet shelf, one area in your house at a time, one stack of paper clutter. We're not gonna do sentimental items. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on sentimental items. So today, I'm just talking about like the good old fashioned random clutter junk that you have around your house. All right, so you got it? Are we ready to go? I have my questions ready. The most common question when it comes to this kind of stuff is, have I used it in the last year? Not only have I used it, because maybe it's something like decorative. Have I put it out for a holiday? Have I admired it? Have I enjoyed it? This has not been used in any fashion in the last year. And if I declutter it now, especially any kind of holiday decor, this is a great time to declutter this, because if I send this to the donation center, there's a good chance that someone could still use it in time for Thanksgiving and this holiday season. So the first question is, have you used it in the last year? And what we need to remember about this question is that if we haven't used it in the last year and I'm still having a hard time parting with it, then the next question I would like to ask you is, what's gonna change in the upcoming year that's gonna cause me to use it? So am I gonna have more time? Am I gonna have more time to, if it's something for a hobby or some kind of recreation thing, am I gonna have suddenly more time this coming year? What's gonna change that's gonna allow me to use it? Here's some more just like home decor stuff. What would change that would cause me to use this next fall when I didn't use it this fall? Probably nothing's gonna change, right? I mean, some of us, we might be in a season of caring for a loved one, going back to school, kids in a difficult season. So we might think like, okay, yeah, next year I am gonna have more time to decorate. But probably for most items, nothing is gonna change enough that if we're not using it this current year, that we're gonna use it next year. All right, so that's question number one. Have I used it in the past year? We all know that question, very standard decluttering question. How about this one? Can it be replaced for $20 or less? Another standard question. This was from the dollar store. So yes, it could very easily be replaced for $20 or less. Along with this, we could also ask, is it something that I could borrow? Like I have a magazine here. My friend Harmony gave me this. Thank you, Harmony. I enjoyed flipping through it, but I'm done with it now. And I can check out magazines at the library. So if I wanted to see more magazines like this, I could just go to the library. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna pass this on to my mom, and then she will pass it on to my sister, and then we will donate it to the library. So it's gonna get a lot of mileage before then, but I'm not gonna keep it in my house, because if I haven't had the time to look through it, maybe it's a magazine that came in like in the mail and you haven't even had time to look at it. Again, what is gonna change in the next few months that is gonna, I mean, we're heading into the holidays now, right? What's gonna change that's gonna cause you to now suddenly have time to look at this? Instead, would it be nice just to have this spot that we're working on totally clutter-free? Like going into the holidays with our house a little bit more simplified, wouldn't that feel really good? So this, not worth it. Not worth it at all to me. I'd rather have my house clutter-free. Another question is, would I purchase this item again? So a lot of things in our house, we get thinking like, oh, this is gonna look perfect in this spot, or I just loved it in the store. And then sometimes we get home and it's not actually what I thought it was gonna be. I know the example of that is this shirt that I shared about the other day. I got it from Stitch Fix, I put it on and I'm like, yeah, it's so close. Like it's so close that I don't want to send it back because I'll probably not find anything any closer, right? So then I'm just gonna keep it. Would I buy this again? No, absolutely not. I've already talked about this. I would not buy this again. So if we hold up an item and we say to ourselves, would I buy this again? And we're like, no, definitely wouldn't. Well, then probably it's not worth keeping either, because it means I don't have value for it, because it's not filling any kind of purpose in my house right now. So if we wouldn't buy the item again, then why are we letting it take up place in our house? Let's pass it on to somebody who could use it. Along those lines is the question, and again, you can print this off online because it's helpful to have these in front of us, because sometimes we're like, we watch videos like this and we're like, yeah, I get, that makes total sense, but then we forget, right? So it is helpful to actually have this printed off in front of you. Okay, if somebody gave me money for this, would I part with it? Yes, absolutely. We have lots of stuff in our house where we're keeping it out of guilt because we paid money for it, right? And so it's hard to get rid of it because it literally lights up the pain center in our brain to part with something that we paid money for. So if this feels physically difficult and painful for you, it actually is. We're using that part of our brain. But the good thing about using that and engaging that part of our brain is it causes us to not make these mistakes again. So let ourselves feel the pain, say, okay, I made a mistake, it is what it is, feel the pain, but then we're not gonna make these same mistakes again. So again, back to the question, if somebody gave me money for the item, would I part for it? And this is where it can really be helpful to have somebody asking you this question, because you hold something up and you're like, I don't know, should I? And then I ask you, okay, if I gave you money for that item, if I gave you $5, would you let it go? And then be like, yeah, if someone was standing here right now giving me $5 for that, I would be like, yeah, trade you, totally. And so by doing that, what you've already acknowledged is that this doesn't have so much value, it's not irreplaceable, it's not something that you couldn't live without, right? Because you just already decided that it does have a lesser value than what you paid for it if somebody were to offer you something for it. So therefore, we've already decided that we want this item out of our house. So now we can decide, well, do I want to go through the work of trying to sell it? Or should I just, again, like we talked about last time, pass it on to the donation center and hope that someone is really thrilled to come across this, especially someone who it fits well, who it was really made for their body type, and they're gonna be so excited to get it. And so that's really helpful to me to think, okay, I hope someone is really excited when they come across this at the donation center, the same way I am when I go there and I find a good deal on something. All right, this one is a biggie, especially when we're going through stuff that's been in storage for a long time. And I know the reason a lot of times this stuff is still there is because we don't know what to do with it. Stuff in the back of our closet, in our basements, our garages, our attics, extra linen closets and all that. It collects there because it is stuff that we just don't know what to do with. We don't know, like, I might need that in the future, right? And that's why we hang on to these things. Most of us aren't actually hanging on to just garbage that we don't need, right? We're hanging on to this stuff because we just don't know. We might need it in the future. And so you mustered up the courage, the nerve, you found the stuff you're gonna declutter, and we're going through it. And what we need to ask ourselves when we come across difficult things is, do I want to handle this again? Because the temptation often is to just say, I don't know, maybe I will wear it someday, and we put it back in the closet, and now the next time I go to declutter, it's still there, and now I'm holding up this same shirt again, trying to decide if I should declutter it or not. So this is a big question. This is one of the main ones I've really had to ask myself. Do I want to have to handle this item again? That's called deferred decision making. Do I want to put this off and so then another day I have to make this same decision again? No, I don't want to have to do this. All right, so here we are. We're about 10 minutes into this decluttering session, and this is when we can just start to feel kind of defeated. We're confronted with things that we spent money on that we don't need anymore. Hey Casey, do you want to come in? You can come in, buddy. We're confronted with stuff that we spent money on, so we're feeling a little bit guilty. We're feeling a little bit overwhelmed because this takes a long time and I still have so much stuff and I've only gotten a little bit done so far. And so this can be a really good time to reset into hi, are you gonna come sit by me? So this can be a really great time to just kind of reset and remember, why am I doing this? And this little guy can be a good why, right? I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to be less stressed out around my kids. I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better grandma. I want, when my grandkids come over, I want them to come to a really peaceful place. I want our house to feel peaceful, and they can find, you know, the few select toys I've kept for them really easily, and then they can pick them up easily at the end of our time together. I want to volunteer more. I want to give back. I don't want to always feel stressed out when I'm at home. I want my house to be a haven, a relaxing place, and I don't want to feel guilty when I see this kind of stuff anymore. I want to recognize I might have made a mistake buying it, but I'm going to put that in the past, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to enjoy a really simple house moving forward, because it's going to give me more peace of mind. We've talked about before, when we have a lot of clutter around us in our, even it might look not cluttered on the outside, like it might just be in our closets or in our basement, you know, it might not even be the places we see every single day. It still is stressful to us. It still triggers the cortisol response in our body. That is the stress hormone, which causes us to always have a low-lying fight or flight response going on. And so that's where we come home and we still feel kind of on edge. We don't feel like we can fully let our guard down or fully relax. And our stuff can actually be contributing to that. The other thing I've been thinking about lately, so it is October 29th. Halloween is already on Thursday, 29th? Yeah, Halloween's on Thursday, and I'm literally like, I do not know where October went. I know people always say, you know, time speeds up, it goes so fast, and especially as you get older, it goes faster, and the kids get older faster. And this is one of the first months where I'm like, I literally do not know where this past month went. And I think a lot of us have experienced that. And as I think about that, and as I fully realize that time goes so fast, that I don't want to have to keep spending more time decluttering. I want to make this decision now. Even if it means I'm throwing away stuff I spent money on, even if it means I'm donating things that I spent money on that I could possibly use in the future. I want to rid our house of it now so that I can start enjoying our house, and that I can, in a way, take some of this time back. And especially if we have kids at home or grandkids, that we know how quickly it goes, right? And I want to have time with them. I don't want to have time managing all of my stuff, having to keep track of all this inventory. I don't want to do that anymore. And so I really want to encourage you today to get tough on your stuff. None of this is more important than our family, our friends, other people around us, people that we could be helping, giving back to, supporting, encouraging. That's what's really important. Physical stuff, the value of it is so low when we actually compare it to the things in life that matter. So let's be really hard on this stuff and truly only keep the stuff that we actually use on a regular basis, and trust that stuff is really easy to replace. All of this stuff is actually really easy to replace because we have Amazon, we have eBay, I never like to be wasteful, like I've said, but thrift stores, it has never been easier to replace stuff if we would accidentally get rid of something. But I don't think you're gonna drop it off at the donation center and you're not gonna look back and you're not even gonna remember the stuff that you got rid of. All right, and then one final question I wanna ask you is it living out the purpose that it was created for? So this especially goes to stuff that we have in storage, or I've used the coffee mug example before. If we have 20 coffee mugs, but we only have a couple people in our house that drink coffee, you know, and then maybe we keep a couple extra for when we have people come over. Are the extra 16 mugs, are they living out their purpose? Are they getting to do what they were created to do? Or is it actually kind of selfish of me to be holding on to these items just in case I have that party of 20 people, or just because, well, somebody gave me that mug and that one was from a vacation, and so I have to hang on to it even though it's never getting used for the purpose that it was created. In a way, it feels kind of selfish of me to hang on to stuff just in case, when there's people that could actually be using it right now, who are setting up their house for the first time or having to start over. And so why do I want to hang on to this stuff when other people could actually be making use of it and it's just collecting dust in my closet? So those are my best questions. Isn't it? 15 minutes can actually go really fast, right? But you can get a ton done, again, if you're just really tough on your stuff, and if we remember that stuff is easy to replace, and it's not as important as the other things in our life, like the people. So I know this isn't easy. I have feet in my video. I know this isn't easy. I have a bunch of other videos on tips and tricks for decluttering, so I will link to those down below in regards to specific things and areas in our house. So I'll link to those down below, and I would love to know what things are hanging you up right now, or did any of these questions stick out to you? Is there one especially that works for you, or what area of your house are you working on decluttering right now? Leave that down below and we can help encourage you in that area. A thumbs up is always appreciated. I hope you subscribe so that we can spend more time together. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a really great day. Oh, I know. Should you tell them what you did with the semi yesterday? What did you do yesterday? Yeah, you got to ride in the semi with Grandpa. You can see that on Tom's channel. I'll link to his channel down below too.